Now from the Weather Tracker TV Storm Studios, this is your weather today. Here's Chief Meteorologist William Cole.
All right, folks, here we go now on this Tuesday. We're just pushing now right on through our work week, and we've got a couple days of pretty decent January weather on tap. Of course, all of that before, what everyone's talking about. The bottom really drops out heading into the weekend. We've got that Arctic blast on the way. The other questions, could there be any wintry precipitation associated with that Arctic blast? We're going to answer that. And is it just one wave of cold weather, or are there more on the way? Again, details on that over the next few minutes as well. But again, today, I think you're going to like it. Again, generally sunny, could be a little bit of high-level cirrus cloud cover, not really a big deal. And again, you can see highs today in the mid-50s. All of that after a pretty chilly start around the area. It was another morning where, again, most of us were in the lower 30s. A few of the kind of chillier spots, if you will, like Denton. In fact, they were down to 22 this morning. Elsewhere around North Texas, mid-upper 20s to right around 30. Again, most of us at or below freezing. But again, we do begin to quickly turn the corner as we go through the afternoon. Like I mentioned, soaring into the lower to mid 50s around the area. Radar review here completely. Maybe a couple snowflakes you can see, maybe a few flurries up across parts of Oklahoma over through the Ozarks. But again, looking around the Lone Star State, essentially right now, we are relatively quiet. But again, a couple things going on. Number one, again, you can see some of that high-level cirrus cloud cover has to do with the little Pacific tropical moisture moving through South Texas. Eventually, that's going to bring them some rain showers. Again, not so much for us, but as we look off to the north, again, you can see the general flow, the general jet stream flow. I really made those arrows really big so you could see what I was talking about. But again, the barn door is open to the north, and so we kind of have that sink drain effect, what we call northwesterly or northerly flow. And again, the jet stream coming right out of Canada this time of year, bringing us whatever air mass is up across parts of Canada. In January, what air mass would you anticipate? Again, it's a polar, it's an Arctic air mass. So eventually, again, as we go through the week, not today, not tomorrow, but again, eventually as we get into the weekend, what you see up to the north, it's going to become displaced. And again, it is going to roll down through the plains. And again, we are going to get a blast of pretty chilly weather. Now, there currently is some pretty cold weather. In fact, even up across the Great Lakes region, that will even begin to retreat as we go through the week. That's not necessarily what we're concerned about. But again, you can see the deeper we get into the week, into the weekend, right there, boom, a big push of Arctic air, not just into the southern plains, but really across a good part of the country. And for a lot of folks, minus the desert Southwest, minus the West Coast, again, most of the nation is going to be trending at or below normal as far as the temperatures go. Otherwise, again, precipitation just kind of in the near term. Look at the deep south of Texas. They're going to get some rain. The coastal plains are going to get some rain. We're essentially dry. Friday, there's a very limited opportunity of a few showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, mainly east of Interstate 35. But essentially, I think really heading into the weekend, we do remain completely dry. We're essentially just talking about, again, some, pretty cold air around the area. So again, as we go through the day today, definitely enjoy it. Again, you can see most of us essentially in the 50s, low mid 50s around the area. Again, like I mentioned, a lot of bright sunshine. All that sounds really good. So 50s down into the 40s. If you do have any kind of Tuesday evening plans, again, big winter jacket would feel good, but no real added wind chill as we go through the evening. And then overnight tonight, again, most of us back down into the 30s, basically pretty close to freezing. A lot of us just below. So again, a pretty typical, again, feeling January morning as we start our Wednesday. And then again, as we go through Wednesday, pretty similar to today, a lot of low, mid, even a few upper 50s out there. And then again, essentially, as we go through the rest of the work week, you can see by Thursday, we're going to be talking about some 60s around the area. But there it is. Again, as we get into Friday, number one on Friday, there could be a few showers, like I mentioned, mainly east of Interstate 35. Then as we get into Saturday, even though you're seeing some 50s there, that temperature will be dropping, and essentially we're going to take the polar plunge as we go through the weekend. Deeper into that 12-day, the data's been back and forth. Could there be another wave of polar air showing up? Again, about 10 days on down the road. Again, the data's back and forth. We're going to kind of begin to moderate the temperatures back up. But again, even though we begin to moderate out of that Arctic air, we could again go right back down. So again, the newest data showing January really, as we begin to close it out, could be pretty cold around the area. But the good news is right now, not really seeing any wintry precipitation showing up. More coming up.